Hello, my friends. Welcome back to the Cyber Relic channel. It's your fellow wielder of Space Magic Relic here, and we're going to go over what Zur brought to us in his loot and inventory. So let's just jump right in and see what he has for us. We have the Sweet Business Auto Rifle Exotic. This is a meme machine that's a lot of fun to use in sixes and PvP, as well as taking it into PvE and just slaying out on those ads all day long. So if you don't have it, add it to your arsenal. Guisan Vest used to be a great PvP exotic for hunters that use spectral blades to extend your super. Not as hot as it once was, but it is worth having as it is a high stat roll and it's relatively evenly distributed, so if you don't have a better one, come and grab it. Armamentarium, gain an additional grenade charge for our titans out there. Pretty even stat distribution across the board, maybe a bit too much mobility. When you have a 67 overall, if you don't have one and you want to use one, this would be a good one to snag for the time being. Vesper of Radius. Rifts release an arc shockwave, then cast. Rift energy recharges faster when you are surrounded by enemies. It's kind of cool. Basically, you throw your rift down and all the ads around you die from an arc explosion. So the actual roll is not too bad. A little high in resilience for what you would need for a warlock, but you do have that 22 in recovery and 16 in discipline. So overall, a good roll if you don't have a better one. GM7 Rifle. Firmly Planted and Swashbuckler is a decent roll. Firmly Planted is kind of slept on pulse rifles. If you're willing to kind of crouch and play strategically, it can give you a lot of added benefits. But what's cool about this is it actually gives you scopes, which is a rare thing to have in the game for pulse rifles. So something to grab possibly for PvP, maybe a melee build. But overall, it's just an average roll. 7th Seraph Officer Revolver, Underdog, and Feeding Frenzy. Really not feeling this one. There are definitely better rolls on this gun. You do get the Warmind cells with it, so if you don't have one, grab it to complete your collections or hold it for now, but I'm sure you probably have better ones at this point if you've been playing for a while. False Promises, Underdog, and Sympathetic Arsenal. Again, I'm not sure you could get a worse roll on this. I know there are some people out there that advocate for Sympathetic Arsenal. I'm just not really feeling it, so again, I'm assuming you have better ones. If not, grab it, but it's just an okay roll. Now, Timeline's Vertex with Firmly Planted and Snapshot Sights is actually really intriguing. This in Crucible is kind of slept on. Firmly Planted is a good perk for fusion rifles because a lot of time you're sliding into engagements, and when you're doing that, you're actually activating Firmly Planted, which gives you increased accuracy, stability, and handling. You also have Snapshot Sights for that snappier response for aiming down sights, and what's cool about this particular fusion rifle is that it comes with scopes. If you remember, back in the Aerentil days, that's what one of the things that made it so great was the fact that it had a scope, and when you had to long zoom on it, you could reach out farther for getting kills, and this is the same case for here for this adaptive frame fusion rifle. I know Main Ingredient is kind of the meta out there, but this is definitely one to grab because you do have the long view scope, you have Firmly Planted with a range masterwork, and Snapshot Sights is going to help too. So I would grab this and give it a try for you fusion mains out there, and you'll be pleasantly surprised, so definitely pick that one up. 7th Seraph CQC-12, Lead from Gold and Trench Barrel. This is arguably a god roll, depending on your perspective. I personally think I prefer auto-loading holster, but I very much so value Lead from Gold as well, so this is not one to spit at. It does have the extended mag so that you can get that additional round in the magazine, so you go from having 6 to having 7, and this is just a great roll to have. Trench Barrel right now is a good perk on spread shotguns. I know fusion rifles are the meta right now, but I think that these spread shotguns are actually quite usable in PvE, especially casual content. So this one here with Trench Barrel giving you that 50% damage increase anytime that you hit a melee beforehand is really great. Go ahead and pick that up. 7th Seraph Saw, auto-loading disruption break. It's, of course, very comedic to me. I just deleted this roll from my vault to make more vault space, and it's funny that it would come up now right here in front of me. This is a good utility roll. If you're going to be playing in some solo flawless content where you're using machine guns for clearing ads, having disruption break on this particular machine gun can give you that 50% damage increase with your kinetic weapon. So if you're breaking a shield on some major or some boss or whatever it is that you're fighting, and you have a sniper rifle, for example, in your kinetic slot, you can get 50% bonus damage on that and kill them faster, which is always really good. So for the right case, this could be something worth grabbing and tossing in your vault if you have the space. Swarm of the Raven, auto-loading holster and ambitious assassin. It doesn't have spike nades. It's kind of a mad roll. I'm sure you probably have something better, but if not, you can grab it and toss it in there as well. One thing that's pretty cool is that we have the Righteous armor sets with Xur this week for all 3 characters, and these were the armor sets from Seasons of Arrivals. So if you weren't here that season up until now, you haven't been able to get this armor, so it's actually very rare, especially for new lights. So you want to make sure and come and grab each of these pieces to complete your collections out, and it's also a pretty cool looking armor set as well. As far as the armor rolls are concerned, it's below 60 gauntlets, not interested. 60 chest armor, I can tell it's not rolled well, we're not interested. There's the bond. We have a helmet with 58, it's below 60. The stat distribution isn't terrible, a little high in mobility, but we're still not interested. And then that's way too much resilience for a warlock, so the boots, not interested in those either. So honestly, there's nothing really worth picking up here unless you're just grabbing those armor pieces for completing your correct collections. I am going to go and switch characters so that we can see what the Titan and the Hunter have as well. We did have our first review of the TWAB that we posted yesterday, so hoping everybody had a chance to jump in and check that out. We kind of read through, saw some of the things that were changing. I had a chance to sleep on it, and I'm still a little bit very concerned about what they're talking about with orb generation moving forward. The fact that we have to actually go and add a mod to our helmet to generate orbs for something that we're currently just getting by using masterworked weapons seems wildly unnecessary to me. As I mentioned yesterday in that video, unless they do something specifically to add an extra mod slot or do some type of overlay, I don't see a world to where this is not going to result in the entire community being extremely frustrated. I do my best to give Bungie the benefit of the doubt in situations like this, so hopefully they have a plan in place that will make sense and will not create a situation to where we are really hampered and losing our ability to use additional mods just to do orb generation again. I would really appreciate it if that was the case. So hopefully that will be the case. I'm sure they're getting a lot of negative feedback currently, so if that's not the case, maybe they'll be making those adjustments. But if you haven't had a chance to review the TWAB, go ahead and check out our last video where we did a review on that, and also go to their website as well if you have questions about what's going on there. So we're going to go ahead and kill these ads here really quick so that we can get into Xur. Alright, let's see the rolls that we have for our Titan. Right now we have a 59, not interested. 64, good recovery, good discipline. And actually, you know what? The resilience is a good contributing factor for the Titan as well. This is actually a pretty good armor piece, so this might be something you want to consider for any Titan builds that you're doing. As far as the Titan mark is concerned, this is it. Grab it if you want it. The helmet is a bit high in mobility, 63 overall, maybe good for a melee build. I don't know. It's okay. And then we have this one, way too low in recovery. I wouldn't even consider this one, despite the high resilience. So we're going to go ahead and switch over to our Hunter. Further confusion, really, I know, to keep elaborating on this orbs with the helmet mod thing. They said that it's going to be dependent on the weapon type that you're using. I'm not sure if that was supposed to be energy, if that's supposed to be the type of weapon that you're actually using for getting those kills. So do you have to swap those mods out every single time that you switch your weapon set? And what if you have weapon sets that don't line up? You know, if it is like SMGs and grenade launchers or whatever it ends up being, and those are 2 different mods, are you then losing 2 mod slots? On top of all of this, are they going to add a cost on top of that? If they do add a cost in regards to how much energy you have to spend to use it, like if it's 1, it's too much. So it needs to at least be 0. As I talk through this more, I have to try and be as optimistic as possible that they're going to give us something that does not impact our ability to use additional weapons, because that would be astronomically frustrating. So maybe there's something, maybe it was worded poorly. I don't know. We're going to have to wait and see. I knew that was going to happen as I was going through there. Should have waited. The hand said stop, and I didn't stop. Alright, we're going to cruise up here again really quick. Go ahead and check out the Hunter rolls. I know that this is not the optimal way to do this. Our channel is still getting off of the ground, and I'm going to be finding ways to actually do some more direct editing, but I want to maintain at least a relatively consistent schedule, and I waited long enough to get this put out today, so I wanted to make sure we get up in here. So thanks for bearing with me as we continue to improve the channel as we move along. Okay, last stop. Let's see what Xur has for us on the Hunter armor set. 25 recovery and 19 intellect is actually pretty good for PvP. You want more mobility on a hunter, but these are two great categories. That 25 recovery is pretty fantastic. So something to consider if you need it. 57 on the chest piece. Nope, we're out. Cloak is a cloak. And then the mask has really good mobility, way too much resilience, not enough recovery, so I wouldn't even consider it. This one is actually rather good. It is a little low on mobility, but when you're getting 22 recovery and then 23 intellect, this could be a fantastic piece to complement whatever PvP build you're using, depending on what your other pieces are. So this is one that would definitely be worth grabbing. With all that being said, we have gone through Zer's loot and inventory. He has a couple of good rolls you want to consider grabbing, so make sure and do that. I just want to thank everybody for coming by the channel again. Feel free to leave a comment if you have any suggestions or questions or anything like that for me. Subscribe as well as like the video if you like the content that we're putting out there. And with that all being said, I hope you all have a not just a good day, but a great day.